Good morning. This is Angela Gibson with Abraham's Consulting, and thank you for joining. Today, I just wanted to get an overview of Abraham's Consulting. We've been in business for 17 years. We have 4 practice areas, and the first of which is the reselling of hardware and software to the federal, state, and local governments. We also provide niche solutions in the area of storage, security, and networking. Will provide information of agencies when they don't have enough IT requirements. And we also have a very robust technical staffing practice. We put technical talent on site all over New York for any technical requirement. Public sector market, provide services for not just the government, but also to higher education. Today we are focusing on our niche solutions practice area, and so that's why the Nintex team is here to talk about automation as automation platform for your agency. I hope you stay tuned. Please make this an interactive conversation. Ask them as many questions as you want. We'll be here. Questions. So once again, thank you for joining us. And from here on, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to the Nintex team, who will be driving this conversation.
Thank you, Angela. Hey, everybody. My name is Joe Boltina. I am account executive here at Nintex. On the line with me, I have my counterpart, Jacob Leese, and my sales engineer, Ray Cabral. As Angela said, we're going to talk to you today about choosing the best automation platform for your agency. We're going to share quite a bit of great information with you that I think you guys can take back, and really excited to get going. So if at any time you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. So, high-level agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about Nintex, who we are. We're going to get into automation in government and the citizen experience. And then we'll talk about choosing the best automation platform for your agency, and then get into the demo. So, high-level, there's 3 takeaways that you're going to take away from today's conversation. As we throw a lot at you, it's really that Nintex is the fastest way to build process apps using zero code. We have one of the lowest total cost of ownerships, specifically because of our product is a no-code platform, so there is an end in sight when you're building out automation projects with Nintex. We're also an enterprise software, so we're highly scalable, and we have integration capabilities with a lot of leading software that you use today in your data center. And Nintex itself, we serve over 1,000 government customers with a variety of mission workloads. We've been in business for over 17 years. We serve over 50% of the Fortune 500. We have 1,000 employees globally. And we're growing every day. So here are some of the government customers that are using Nintex today, whether it's in federal, civilian, Department of Defense, some of the industrial base like Boeing, Honeywell, state government agencies like California or state of Missouri or Maryland, local government, New York City, NYPD, just a couple that are using Nintex today. High level, this is the Nintex process platform. We break it into really 3 categories, which is discover, automate, and optimize. So as you start your automation journey, you're going to need to either discover manual processes that you want to automate. We can help you there with a variety of tools using AI and machine learning, as well as we can help you document those processes after they're discovered with our process mapping capabilities. And once we've mapped everything out, we've discovered everything, we have a variety of automation tools like our workflow and forms tools, our RPA bots. We have document generation products that can take that can take data and repurpose it from structured and unstructured data sets. We have e-signature, and we have analytics to gain performance insight. So let's get into automation in government and the citizen experience. I'm really going to break this down in two perspectives. One of them is going to be the citizen perspective, and then the other one will be the government perspective. So what do citizens want, right? They want to interact. They want their interactions to mirror their an everyday business. Think Amazon. Think all the technologies that citizens use today to interact. You can order everything on your cell phone. You can pay bills on your cell phone. You can trade cryptocurrencies, stocks, all sorts of things. So, why not have that in the government space? 43% of government employees indicate that citizen experience is the number one success factor for transformation. Only 22% of government transformation initiatives are successful. 16% of constituents believe government entities have successfully used technology to improve experience. I want to hone in on that last segment there. 16% of constituents believe government entities have successfully used technology to improve their experience. If I were to take an exam and I got a 16% score, that wouldn't be great, right? I don't think I'd be passing that class. So, yeah, that's basically what the citizen experience feels about government, which is, hey, we can do better. There's not a lot of technology. We want to be online, not inline, when it comes to government and the citizen interaction. Now, when it comes from the government perspective, right, why does government struggle to digitally transform? We've really found three areas, right? Lack of alignment, right, in automation goals. So enterprises have less than 20% of their processes automated. We find that all the time when we're talking to agencies all over the country. A lot of processes are not automated or partially automated, and there's plenty of room for growth. Lack of resources, right? Post-pandemic, a lot of individuals have not returned or were forced into early retirement or maybe learned a new skill and have left government altogether. It's already hard enough in government, right? You're always asked to do more with less. And the fact that, you lack 90% of the resources needed to provide, services to citizens is alarming. And so automation can help there, right? When you can't find individuals that you need to, do your day-to-day operations, you can use automation to make that more efficient. And then lack of capabilities, right? So, a lot of legacy technologies are out there that are preventing, government to digitally transform. And I get it. I mean, we talk to government agencies all the time that have made a heavy investment in Oracle mainframes and IBM and all sorts of things where, it just works and they don't want to turn it off, right? And there's a lot of money invested in that. And automation can help there too. We have RPA bots that can go and scrape data from legacy machines and make it more modern in today's modern day automation initiatives. So these are really the three areas from a government standpoint of why government struggles in the automation journey. Now, governments need a solution that can scale, right? What do you want to automate? How complicated is your process? When interviewing a lot of government agencies, they've really identified 6 areas that are critical when picking the right automation solution. One being easy and fast to learn, right? Nobody wants to, adopt a technology that is unlearnable or needs a rocket scientist to get off the ground. That's why you hear a lot of citizen developer words. People want no code to low code. They want something that anybody can pick up and kind of run with, as long as you understand the process, right? You can get up and go. Number 2, integrate with systems you use today, right? I kind of mentioned that in the last slide. So you want the ability to work with, your enterprise and department-wise, technologies that you've made the investment in. And a really good automation tool will have a lot of API and integration capabilities and help you make the best of your current investment. Number 3, TCO, predictable and transparent pricing, right? Nobody wants think we've all heard the conversation from a really large vendor out there that offers a freemium model, and then you get into it and you realize, wow, it's not free, and all the premium connectors and all the things I need to do my day-to-day operations are an additional cost or a per user cost, and all of a sudden you have hidden fees. So I think 3 is really critical, right? You want predictable and transparent pricing. Number 4, run continuously without time constraints. There's a lot of technologies out there that can't run continuously from an automation standpoint, and they might even charge you to run continuously. So you really want to find a technology out there that doesn't have any hidden fees to be on and running at all times. And then detailed processing, analytics, and insight, right? You want to gain a deeper view in the performance of your workflows, of your automation projects. You want to be able to remedy issues and get ahead of them before they come to light. And then lastly, agility through ease of updates, right? So when we talk to a lot of business leaders, they really want the ability, after they build out and they make the investment in this automation technology, they want the ability to make changes on the fly. They don't want a technology that's going to require a ton of hand-holding, a ton of third-party consulting to come in and make changes, right? Nobody wants a scope of hours that are more than the original development hours, right? So keep all these in mind as you go through your automation journey and you're trying to make a decision on what's the best technology for you. So that kind of segues into choosing the best automation platform for your agency, right? So there's a lot out there, right? This is an overwhelming slide. So let me kind of walk through it. We look at automation projects from complex to moderate to simple, right? There's a lot of technology and capabilities out there. There's from the complex side, there's Appian, OutSystems, SAP, Oracle, Power Apps, Pega, even our technology, our app dev technology, K2, Bazagi, UiPath, Automation Anywhere, right? These are just some of the many, right? I feel like every day there's some new technology company coming out with an automation capability. And then, Nintex fits really in the more moderate to simple phase. So we can do complex to simple to moderate. I think you saw that in the second slide I showed where we have a variety of technologies and capabilities to provide you an end-to-end platform. And then when you get to the more simple side, you have Laserfish, you have Power Automate, you have Asana, you have Trello, Flow, and a lot of these tools kind of fall within the citizen developer range. And so not every automation project requires a custom-built app. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of technologies out there where they might not have a forms-driven workflow, right? Government runs on forms. And so, the ability to take a static form, a PDF form, and actually turn it into an immersive form and then put automation capabilities behind it and connecting it to your leading systems. A lot of these technology vendors that I mentioned earlier, they don't really have a solution for that. Their solution is, hey, just build it in our platform or build an app for it, and that can become costly, that can become complex. Nintex, our approach is a little bit different. We really lead with our no-code forms designer and our no-code workflow designer, which you'll see with my engineer, Ray Cabral, in a couple minutes. So just keep that in mind. Not every automation project requires a custom-built app. So here's an example of kind of where Nintex can fit in if you are a heavy Microsoft Power Platform user, right? So Microsoft is a great example of this. They tend to tell you, hey, you have a form, you want to automate it, let's build an app, right? I'm sure we all have some capacity of Microsoft in our ecosystem today, right? They do offer a freemium model. But once you start getting into the more advanced features, there's a cost associated with that. Once you start getting into Power Apps, there's a per user cost associated with that. Power Apps is great. We have a lot of customers that use Power Apps, in the IT-centric dev, body shop. And then Nintex, fits in the middle, right? So we have advanced functions, we have dynamic forms, We can help in the simple to moderate to large or complex arena or low code to no code. We have APIs that connect to Power Automate for the more personal, linear, and simple automation projects that you might be working on today. We can help save money. I have a great example here where we have worked with a K-12 institution in New Mexico where they had $1 million budget for 5 years. They rolled out the Power Platform, rolled out Power Automate. They wanted to modernize phones for the experience between faculty and parents. And they started building out on Power Apps, and they got a $250,000 bill based on the per user price. And they realized that they were going to run out of money pretty quickly. And so they contacted us. We have upfront pricing on our website, www.nintex.com/pricing. We were able to sell them a $50,000 unlimited license, and they were able to cut their Power Apps cost from $250,000 down to $50,000 using Nintex and only using Power Apps when needed. And they were able to save quite a bit of money. Here's a quote that from Ty Edison from New Belgium Brewing. We have other tools. We're a big Microsoft shop, but I know I can do it simpler and easier and get it done faster with Nintex. And I think that kind of alludes to what I talked about before. It's, Nintex can really fit in the middle and connect to your existing systems. And we have very easy tools and upfront pricing that can help get you going. Well, that's all I have today. I'm going to pass it off to Ray Cabral to walk you through our product and show you how simple it is. Ray?
Yeah, thank you, Joe. Let me share my screen. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay. So what you're looking at right now is an example of what Joe just talked about. A government form that typically is done on physical paper or PDF. It's for a property tax refund claim. Pretty common use case in a city or county. Here we have a fictitious county called Harrington. And traditionally what would be done to submit a property tax claim and get correspondence back and ultimately a check would be to fax this in, write in it by hand, have some manual data entry, download it from a government website as a PDF, pretty much manual, bespoke steps. And as Joe mentioned, we could make this into an app, but then we get into database management, issuing out user governance with protected view so that they're not seeing other citizens' data, other claims that were submitted for other properties. So you can definitely go down that path, but you got to justify that. How frequently are property tax refunds going to be filed at a county? Maybe it's enough to where an app is justifiable. Maybe in some cases, it doesn't really make sense to go into full database user management just because of something that may run, a couple thousand times a year. So that's when you get into form-based workflows. Now, what we can do with this is instead of going full-blown database management, make it a flat digital form so that citizens can participate in a process where they still go through the same steps, ultimately signing a document, populating it, and then getting correspondence. But they don't need a user to do it. You don't need to provide governance around what they see, how they access it. And so to show you an example of this, we can transition over to the site for Harrington County, where traditionally, again, they would probably host this PDF as a link that a citizen can download, fill out by hand, and fax in. But instead, if we were to make it digital, we can put that flat form in digital format within a page on the website. So the citizen, instead of having to go through those manual steps, just navigates to the right page of the website and then begins populating that form. Now, this form, again, is from Nintex. It's digital, it's responsive, it can work on a desktop, tablet, iPhone. You can put up guardrails for it so that data is populated appropriately. As an example, the tax account number has text masking on it, so there's no way that they could enter that information wrong. Similar to when you do database management and applications, but this is just a flat form. Now that gets outside of user errors. So when someone's writing on a PDF, they have free reign to fill out every section. They can fill out certain fields incorrectly, certain sections incorrectly. Here it's guardrailed so that everything is filled out properly. Now we'll take a participant from the presentation. So Ryan, let's pretend that you were going to fill out this form, and we're going to make up a property for you local to me. We'll do Los Angeles. We're going to submit a claim for $4,500 for 2021 tax year. And again, a lot of these fields are guardrailed. So addresses are formatted as addresses, emails formatted as emails, phone numbers as phone numbers. For the address field, we hook into a third party so that we know the addresses are real and physical. There's no, typos or errors that can be made when populating this information. Our forms can also ingest files. So if we wanted to upload any driver's license, supporting documents, PDFs, Word docs, Excel, we can upload them to a file control and then submit our form. And then from here, it can go down and execute whatever actionable steps we need after the fact. For this process, it's just primarily simple correspondence. Someone needs to know that their application was received and then know when it's complete. We do need to capture signature within a document, so there's going to be an additional step where we do that as well. And as an outcome of all of this, as you run data through what we call our workflows, that's all reportable. So we can deliver data feeds where you retrieve that information and dashboard off of it. So not only do you get automated process, but you'll also get metadata and telemetry out of those processes as well. If you want to calculate time to approve, if you want to do heat maps of where you're getting submissions, a pie chart that breaks out the years that are submitted for. Again, anything that you run through our process or workflow platform can be a key and value pair that you report on using like Power BI or Tableau or another reporting type application. So that is an additional outcome that you can get with our automation environment. Now, as the submitter of this document, I would need some sort of correspondence to know, was my application received? Is it digital? Did it go anywhere? I'm kind of operating in a black box. That's a downside of not having an application, is you don't get to log in and see a status field. So essentially, to work around that, what you can do is just send notifications as things are received and move on down the step of the process. So we can do that with email, we can do that with text message. There are a variety of options there. Here we just do a simple email notification to the submitter. So I'm in the Gmail account that was used on the form, and we can see a notification addressed to Ryan saying everything was received. We populate the notification with data that was on the form, and also the ticket number for the backend system, if there is an actual application that is used to track the data internally. All this is not to say that you can't use an application with our tool. We can connect to the Dataverse, Dynamics, SharePoint, Salesforce, SQL Server, Azure SQL, and still do CRUD actions to those databases while incorporating external users at a cost-effective rate. So here we just get simple correspondence saying that we did receive your application. This is not lost in the shuffle with all the other physical piles of paper that we get. Now, what is also required in this process is another step where someone internal to the county needs to approve. So when you don't have an application, there's no step where you can change status from received to approved. So to handle that, we introduce tasks and activities, and we can issue those in a number of ways. We can send a text notification to an approver, internal or external. We can send an email notification. We have a mobile application that you can white label. We also have a workspace that can be logged into where you can see your individual tasks. So essentially a task view of what's active, what's completed. We can send tasks to one person or a group of people so that not only is one person getting it, but a collection of people are getting it. And whether one person responds or we need majority rules or consensus, we can control what takes place after that response is made. So here we see Ryan's data submitted from the form. This is read only. We cannot change this. So still kind of a restricted view without getting into full app dev for this project. We can also comment and say, this property tax claim is approved, and go ahead and submit that, and that task is now responded to. We don't need the other 11 assignees to respond. We just take the first response and move it on down the chain. So it's an effective way of channeling all the internal and external approvals so that we can get a response back, we can get data back. That approval use our same forms technology, and ultimately we can move it on down the process. Now, just to take a look behind the scenes and what it takes to build a workflow, we can get into the process that we're running right now for the property tax rebate claim and see what the starting event is, which is a digital form. This is a drag and drop interface where we can build guardrailed, customized, responsive forms. We have all the field types on the left. We can do everything from database lookups to scaling for repeating sections, select people pickers, text fields, short fields, pick lists, buttons, pretty much whatever we need, we can drag and drop into the canvas, label, title, make required, and just add additional properties as appropriate. As Joe mentioned, we could also start with a PDF and just do a convert from our government PDFs over to this tech so that it's a little bit more of a streamlined process and we're not doing a drag and drop for every single field and label that we need to convert from a PDF document. There's also rule building inside of this, so if you need to hide or display content, that is also declarative, point and click, easy to build and fast to get to market with. And then outside of that, we go down and execute actions. We can integrate with third parties. So in this demo, we do integrate with some Microsoft tech. We have a SharePoint site that can ingest this data. This is kind of the backend application where we want to store the data. But really, we can get into any logic handling, whether it's looping, running branches, parallel paths, running if statements, correspondence for email, text. If we wanted to send a SMS text, we can do Twilio notifications, and then all of our third-party integrations. We're also invested heavily in Microsoft, so we can execute CRUD actions in Dynamics, email through Exchange Server, insert data into Excel, store files on OneDrive, execute CRUD actions in SQL, integrate with Teams, Slack. You can upload your own custom connections for free. We do not charge for connections. So one example that I have is Seismic. This is a custom connector that is built. It is not off the shelf, but it is free. If you upload your own definition, you don't have to pay a premium to connect to a third party. And we have a gallery where you can download a lot of these connectors that have been pre-built and upload them to your own tenant so that you can, upload files to an external file store or do CRUD actions to another database. That's the downside with these other platforms is they try to capture users and keep you inside of their own app dev platform. If you want to connect to something else, there's a premium you got to pay on top of that. We are agnostic. Connectors are free, and we don't bill for users. It's more of a pay by the drink type of billing model. So you got to run the actual process to get billed for it. Now, what we also do in this demo is we ask Ryan to sign a document. So as part of our platform, we also can generate documents from data. So we take that form data, we compile it into a PDF and ask the submitter, who again was external. All he did was go to a website, saw an anonymous form that he did not need to authenticate into, but we were able to populate Ryan's data into a PDF document and request signature. So we can kind of complete the cycle for this tax rebate process. We can go as far as actually, putting the check amount data into our checking system and have it go to a physical printer and then be snail mailed off. But for this demonstration, we just get the signed document back and store it in the backend database. Now, all of that workflow does not require an app. Again, if you want an app, you can have one and just bring your external users into it by using our workflow product because, again, tasks, forms can be filled out by external users for free through our anonymous task and forms capability. And then we would just go execute those CRUD actions back in your application. Again, here we use SharePoint for the backend app. We didn't need to. It's just, what we had on hand and decided to push this data to. So everything that we did was captured in this backend tool. We have this list called service case. And if we go all the way down, I believe the tracking number that we sent to Ryan was case 105. So if we come down here, we see, I think I'm missing one. Bear with me for a second. It might have been 107. All. And sometimes the document takes a bit of time to come in. It might be in another stage. So let's check. Sign. Approved. Here we go. So this is the data for case 107. We can see that this has Ryan's data, so everything that we submitted in the form. And in a moment, we see the status is now closed, and we have the documents back inside of this application. So again, we're still able to execute those CRUD actions. We have the approver comments. We have the name of who approved the document, how long it took to approve, when it was approved, all the other data submitted in the form, and then also we have that signed document automatically attached contextually to the application. So again, all that automated through Nintex. We're essentially a programming language with our syntax being declarative. You just drag and drop actions as you need them with the applications you like to use. Logic handling is here. Forms are drag and drop. So you can build quickly. It's all a logical flow, so it's easy to design, easy to maintain. And if you wanted to decouple from applications, let's say you wanted to move over to Dynamics instead of SharePoint, you can simply disable actions and kind of have a migration process where you bring new actions in for the Dataverse or Dynamics or SQL, and you're executing actions in those environments in tandem within your process as you kind of decouple from another. So you can have the design elements from your legacy process right inside your Nintex workflow, begin building your new CRUD actions, and then decouple completely once you're ready by disabling old actions and even deleting them from the workflow. And that was it for my presentation. I hope that made sense and was helpful. And if there's any questions, be happy to answer those now.
Thank you, Ray. Well, if there aren't any questions, I think we have gotten to the bottom of the hour here, and yeah, we completed our presentation today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, let us know, and we can address those questions. If you want to see a more detailed demo, or you have a use case you want us to solve for, just please reach out. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All righty.